What's up, everybody? Rothstein here, Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, Fame Rothstein, aka Michael Snackson, aka Bay Old Wolf, aka Hacksaw Jim Thuggin, aka Malcolm Excellence. Today is Thursday, January 11th, 2024. All right, I'm just going to talk a little slick and greasy right quick. But in the meantime, let's hook up on Twitter, or I'm sorry, X, formerly Twitter. My at name is at Biggie Rothstein, BIGGIEROTHSTEIN. All right, and make sure you like and subscribe to this program. Like, subscribe, share, leave comments to this program. All right. I'm going to kind of piggyback off of last night's conversation. We were talking about the black divide, the just these factions of black people just not getting along. And one of them that we kind of started to talk about came to full fruition after the show, after I published it, and that was Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock there. You see him on the screen there. For years now, Jason Whitlock been talking shit to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith finally responded. And, and Stephen left all professional candor out of the window when he did it. Jason Whitlock has been talking shit, saying Stephen really can't write. He's a plant, He had been saying that for a couple years. That anytime somebody blah blah blah, and Stephen just been sitting idly back, never said nothing about him. Never even replied. And tonight, last night, I guess he just couldn't handle it anymore, and just went at the dude. Called him, fat bastard. You seen Whitlock, he's the heavy set one. Called him a fat bastard. Called him a piece of shit. And he straight out called him a bitch. Two 50-something-year-old men, and one of them calls you a bitch. Like I said, Whitlock been saying that Stephen can't write. Lately, he's been saying his memoirs were lies or embellished. Talking about he can't find any pictures of Stephen A. Or any video or anything in a game. Stephen says he played college basketball for Clarence Big House Games at Winston-Salem State. I've seen Coach Gaines. I think he's deceased now, but I've seen him, talk with Stephen on TV and whatnot before. But I don't know. He listen. And on, let me say this. And then the next morning, which would have been earlier today, Whitlock's back on it, talking about some, you weak, you ain't say nothing, this, that, the other. We still don't know if your memoirs are fake or, all that kind of stuff. And here's where I'm at with it now. The war of words is over, Jason. I fuck with you, Whitlock. Remember, I fuck with you. You're from Indianapolis. 90 minutes away from here. I fucks with you. And I get your sensibilities and how you coming at it and whatnot. But, like I said, all professional candor is out of the window. He called you a bitch. Fat bastard. That's just roasting. Piece of shit. That's perfunctory. He called you a bitch. What's that song by Moneybag Yo? But it's time of the day. Fuck it, I'm crossing the line today. Yeah, I looked at my watch. I got time today. Fuck it, I'm crossing the line today. That's what Stephen A. did. Fuck it, I'm crossing the line today. Called you a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Now, for I'm not condoning violence at all. But, you know, you call me that, there's going to have to be an apology. Not a retraction, but a full-fledged apology. You know, I did that once. I was a younger man, called somebody that, you know, just realized it was wrong. And I apologized to the guy. You know what I'm saying? The next time I saw him, I apologized to him. He just called you a bitch, Jason. Now, like I said, from this point on, the shit talking is over. The slick talk, all that you was doing, that's over. Not condoning violence. But you're either going to have to see that man, have him apologize on your show, without equivocation, or we can go get Minister Farrakhan and let y'all talk to each other in this thing. Because now it's just it's work. It's not even entertaining. He done called you a bitch. He letting you know it's on the flow. I'm with whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, you know. There's, you know, you can all that. You know, I'm trying to be a Christian. I'm a Christian, and I'm you know, I do the opposite of the average black man in America. And all that goes out the window, man. He calls you a bitch. There's nothing worse than. There's only two things you can get called as a, you know, as a black man. You know, remember the old. Speaking of stealing jokes, the old Cedric the Entertainer joke. I don't know if he stole it or not, according to Cat Williams. But Cedric's joke where he talks about the worst thing you could ever be called as a black man is acting funny. You know. And I don't want to get into the joke, but yeah, you have to go watch it. Just yeah, acting funny. You know, it's a pretty little, you know, joke on you know, childhood and whatnot. But it's, you know, it's funny. It's a funny joke. And yeah, and so being called acting funny, that's about the only thing you can get called worse than being called a bitch. That's what he called you, man. A bitch. You know, so you can talk slick. You know, the lady that be on your show, Shamika Michelle, you can have her come in and talk shit for you, everything, whatever. It's not gonna work at this point. Steve letting you know he with whatever you with. He called you a bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gave you those three options to end this, because you can't just walk around with that holding. And like I said, that man ain't apologized. Like I said, I did that. It was a dear friend of mine, and I felt bad about it. And when I saw him, well, it wasn't necessarily a friend, but it was somebody I had known for quite some time, and you know, never did anything wrong to me. And I apologized to him the next time I saw him. And yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jason. Like, I'm talking about an immediate apology, but it don't seem like that's what he's gonna want to do. So since that ain't gonna probably work, hey man, y'all can be at the same events. I mean, it's kind of weird because these are two mid 50-year-old millionaires. You know, Stephen A. Smith makes about $12 million a year, I'm told, for ESPN. Just off ESPN alone, not just his podcast where he did the talking shit back to Whitlock. Whitlock, from my understanding, makes about $500,000 a year, but he's been on the scene, you know, nationally and on ESPN before. He's been around. So I'm sure he's made some good coin over the years, but he doesn't make as much as Stephen A. right now. And I guarantee you that's part of it. Stephen A is the face of sports media, getting, 10, $12 million a year. I don't care what Whitlock says. There is a bit of jealousy in there. It's just natural. You think you're better than him anyway. It's just your look and your smugness from what I'm saying, from what I understand. In the workplace, you don't get along with people, but you feel like you're, on just talent alone, you're the cream of the crop. And this guy's getting that much money more than you. There's going to be some natural jealousy involved. Stop fronting. You are. Like I said on the other show, there's only 3 sports broadcasters that matter: Cosell, Chris Berman, and Stephen A. Smith. You could probably throw in there on a sub level Stuart Scott, maybe a Dan Patrick or somebody. But really, but Stephen kind of took where Stewart was left off of, just because of the generations and whatnot. And Stuart Scott walked so Stephen could run, mixing that just that urban flavor hip hop, lingo into the sports broadcasts and whatnot. Stuart Scott kind of brought that to the game, and then Stephen A. Smith took it a step further with the opinionating and whatnot, the opining. Okay, so for Whitlock, there's just nothing. The war of words game is dead. It's over. He killed it right there. And then you got all these other black current and former ESPN and sports personalities coming out to Steven's side. Jamil Hill, I saw her. Stan Verrett, saw him on both on X, and Mike Hill. All these people coming out, basically saying fuck Whitlock. We don't fuck with dude. Like Whitlock's kind of like one of these guys. Like if you use the N-word, like yeah, my nigga, blah blah blah, and tweeting at him or sending an X post to him, he'll block you. And it's like, that's corny. Just to flat out block somebody. But I get it. But, like you said, it was kind of some what Steven said about him was right. Some what Whitlock has said about Steven over the years is probably right. So I could agree with both of them. Like I said, I like them both. They're the Umar and Tariq Nasheed of sports broadcasting. They're the best 2 at it. As far as black sports broadcasters, they're the best 2 at it, and you hate to see them beefing with each other, riffing and shit. So I'm gonna hop off of here, getting up to around 14, 15 minutes. So let me get up off of here. Don't forget, like and subscribe. I should be back Saturday with playoff action for the NFL. All right, but until then, everybody be well. Peace.